Well, good day to our chamber members, our city council members, our community leaders. Welcome to State of the City 2025, presented by Adventist Health. I am Janelle Capra, your president and CEO, and I'm thrilled to have you here today to get a little bit more knowledge about our city and what makes Bakersfield just an amazing place to live and work. As we go through the program today, you will have more time for networking during lunch. I'm letting you know now. But I would be remiss if I did not start by thanking our sponsors. This event is brought to you thanks to our presenting sponsor, Adventist Health. Our gold sponsors, Chevron. Dignity Health. And Valley Strong Credit Union. And now, if I can read through our bronze sponsors, just hold your applause to the end of this list. Thank you. AES, Barton Marketing Group, California Water Services, EECU, Kern Family Healthcare, Tahone Indian Tribe, Varner Brothers, and WISPA. Thank you for being our bronze sponsors. At this time, as we start our program with our invocation and flag salute, I get to introduce a pastor that I first met when I moved to Bakersfield in 1989. And you know, it's one of those moments when life comes full circle, and it's pretty special to welcome to stage co-founder and president of City Serve and senior pastor of Canyon Hills. Come on up to stage. And joining on stage for the flag salute right after our prayer, mayor's appointee of the Youth Commissioner and vice chair who will do our flag salute. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, as we gather today, we thank you for the gift of community and the bonds that connect us all. We're here today because we care about our city and the well-being of all of our residents. Thank you for those who tirelessly serve our city, our mayor, our city council members, our city manager, all of the city staff. We ask you to give them your strength and wisdom and all that they do on behalf of this community that we love. Lord, we are especially thankful for our courageous first responders who protect and serve us with bravery and selflessness. Surround them and shield them as they carry out their noble duties. And as we look to the future, we pray for hope and inspiration. May we believe that the best days for Bakersfield are ahead of us. Instill in our hearts a sense of responsibility to work together as one community striving toward progress and the greater good. We acknowledge today our dependence upon you, Lord, recognizing that with your help, all things are possible, and we seek your blessing upon our endeavors and pray that you will illuminate our path forward, guide us in our efforts to uplift and enhance our beloved city for generations to come. May there be many faith-filled and God-honoring conversations around each of these tables today. We ask these things in your holy name. Amen.
Wow, so I'm just going to follow that up with the flag salute. If you don't mind standing. Salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Pastor. Thank you, Braden. Next up, representing our presenting sponsor, Kiyoshi Tomono, Community Partnership Executive, Adventist Health.
Thank you so much, Janelle and Braden. I heard you were committed to UCLA. Where'd you go? Valerie. And now you're breaking my heart. You're not going to UCLA? Columbia, but congratulations on that. So we got amazing kids in this community. It says in the program that Matt Cawthon was supposed to be up here, and I just want to be clear, I'm Kiyoshi. Very rarely confused for Matt Cawthon. Vince Fong, maybe, often. But definitely not Matt Cawthon. Janelle, just wanted to thank you for all the work that you and the Chamber team have done. This community is doing some amazing things, rocking and rolling. Mayor, I know you're going to be sharing some photos and pictures of all the amazing stuff that's happening. And Christian, what an amazing thing. I got to connect with our team of the Blue Zones over there in the corner who are doing just, amazing stuff in this community. I think the highlight of all this work is just the partnership. I use that word often, that folks in this community, you go to other places around the state even, and people that come to visit, and they're like, the amazing things that happen in this community because of the ability of people to partner. Because at our table, we've got Flood, and we've got the different organizations that all support folks that are experiencing homelessness. The work happens because of just incredible collaboration. And we had the privilege of accepting the award at Adventist Health of Large Corporation Business of the Year, and so super thankful for that, Janelle, and for the just the incredible honor to be in the company of Bank of America. Karen Zuber, all the work that you're doing, I see your back to me, and the folks over at Bank of America, Tri-Counties Bank. Amazing people in this community, and we just are so thankful for all of the work that we're able to do because together we are better.
Hi there. I'm Jason Wells, the Network President for Adventist Health here in Central California. Our mission statement is to live God's love by inspiring health, wholeness, and hope.
Here in Bakersfield, we're proud to support the community with 2 hospitals, a nationally recognized cancer center, and many clinics and imaging centers. As part of a larger network, our footprint across the Central Valley spans from Mojave to Taft to Coalinga, all the way past Fresno, with 8 hospitals and more than 130 medical offices, employing almost 8,000 team members. We serve 5,700 patients every day, and our clinics alone are on track to care for 1.4 million patients by the end of the year.
Hi, I'm Jenny Lavers, and I'm honored to serve as the Operations Executive for Adventist Health in the Central California Network. In the last year, we are so proud that we've opened our new Buena Vista Medical Clinic, won the Blue Distinction Award for both obstetric care and spine care, achieved the Heart Care Center recognition by the American College of Cardiology, all while maintaining employee turnover rates that place us better than 90% of hospitals in the country.
Just recently, we were honored at the beautiful Bakersfield Awards as the Large Business of the Year by the Bakersfield Chamber, an award we attribute to the incredible engagement of each team member on our campuses who selflessly donates their time and resources to helping our communities. Last year, we held and participated in more than 50 local health fairs, from the Sikh Women's Association to the Veteran Resource Fair. We even brought our mobile health clinics on site to large and small businesses, from Amazon to local farms. We hosted flu vaccination events, children's health screenings, and taught hands-only CPR.
October brought VI Pink, our premier breast cancer awareness event, where we not only spread awareness and information on the signs of breast cancer and breast disease, but honor the survivors and families in our community. In 2024, we rolled up our sleeves to support Kern County. Our team showed up everywhere, from Love Link celebration to Relay for Life. We really could go on, but the bottom line is the Adventist Health family contributed millions in donations, gifts, and service hours right here in Bakersfield and across the Central Valley.
As we reflect on the state of our city, we recognize the meaningful progress we together have made, the work that lies ahead to build healthier, stronger communities. At Adventist Health, we believe standing shoulder to shoulder with our neighbors is how we can achieve that future together.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Deanna Blaze, Senior Vice President of Valley Strong Credit Union and Board Chairwoman of the Greater Bakersfield Chamber of Commerce. And thank you. And if you're on the board of directors or the executive group of the chamber, could you please stand to be recognized? I know there are many of you in here who've joined me. I really appreciate you serving this year on the board and helping with the great work that we're doing in our community. And on behalf of Valley Strong Credit Union, we're always here to support our community. And today I really hope that you take away something from the messages this afternoon. Look for ways to support some of these projects that are going on in our city, and also continue to look for ways to collaborate with one another to really focus on making our city the amazing place that it can be as our next future generation comes along behind us. So at this time, I'd like to introduce our Vice Mayor, Ms. Carr, to come on up. Thank you, Manpreet, for joining us today to introduce our program.
Thank you, and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Manpreet Kaur. I have the honor of serving as your Vice Mayor to the City of Bakersfield. And it is so lovely every year to be in this room with you all. This is my third year on the City Council, and each year I feel that the projects we hear about evolve, and to speak to some of the points already made earlier, the city's partnerships are essential and crucial to the success of our community. We cannot do it without each and every one of the partners in this room, and especially when we're making decisions on the City Council, at the dais, in the committee meetings. We are continuously thinking about the folks that you all serve, that we all collectively serve. I want to take some time on behalf of the City Council that I represent to give an ode, some moments. So I want to just give a shout out to my council colleagues that are here in attendance today. I saw City Council Member Eric Arias representing Ward 1 just walk in. Give us a wave. Thank you, Eric. Councilmember Andre Gonzalez representing downtown Bakersfield, right over here. We've got Councilmember Larry Coman. Give us a wave. Hi, Larry. And you were able to also see some of the boards that featured Councilmember Weir, Councilmember Bashir Tosh, and myself. We have the honor of serving. So now we get to hear from our City Manager Christian Clegg, who has the not so always graceful job of listening to 7 different opinions, balancing them, competing priorities. It really is a challenge, but Christian does it with grace, patience, and Councilmember Bob Smith, we gave each other a big hug, and it's because we're family. Councilmember Bob Smith representing our great city, and is going to be speaking to the power of cycling shortly as well. So that lecture is right after this one. I apologize. Thank you, Bob. I also want to pause, and if you work in the city of Bakersfield and you are joined here today, I just want you all to also rise, and I want to take a moment to recognize everyone who is serving our city day to day and give it up for the employees of the city of Bakersfield. You are literally boots on the ground, so thank you for all that you do. And this is my rookie year as vice mayor, clearly, so we're working through it. But our city manager, Christian Clegg, he requested that his walk-on song be La Bamba, so I'm hoping that the DJ could cue that up in a little bit. But without further ado, Christian, come and join us and enlighten us on what's happening at the city.
Thank you for recognizing our team, and it's wonderful to represent here the City Council. Good afternoon, chamber members, and also greetings to our Bakersfield family as a whole who tunes in after the fact. It is an honor to share with you the state of our beautiful city on behalf of the City Council. So our theme this year is highlighting how we can grow stronger together. Together because we can't do it alone, and so much is more possible together. Stronger because you'll see from our update that we really are getting stronger by the numbers tangibly every year, as well as growing because growth is about trajectory, and we really are seeing good growth. So last year I reported on population growth over the last decade, and it's hard to believe that in 1 year we've actually grown by 8,000 more residents than last year. But it's not hard to believe that people want to be in Bakersfield. There's so many good reasons. It's a great place to live, work, worship, recreate, do business, a great place to grow. Growth is an opportunity. It can also be a challenge, though. A city needs to guide, shape, encourage, and plan for growth. And sometimes as we grow, we do experience those growing pains. We continue to see challenges in our now metropolitan community of Bakersfield, challenges that are similar to other cities in the nation and particularly in California, but those are challenges that Bakersfield's not used to having, and I understand that. I do have a couple of reality checks for you about those growing pains today, but also an equal dose of optimism as we walk through what I would call our treatment plan for some of those growing pains. Let me actually start with some of that optimism and treatment plan for our growing pains related to public safety. We have made serious investments in public safety. Measure N made a promise to increase our police complement by 100 officers, and we have kept that promise. In the past 5 years, we've hired nearly 300 officers. It's taken some time to get to that net gain of 100, but we're there. So Eric's trying to help us give a clap there. Thank you. In 2018, we had 407 budgeted positions, but only 385 of those were filled. I'm proud to share that as of today, including the 50 recruits that entered our newest academy, we have 511 officers on the force today. You can clap for that too. In addition to those new officer positions, we have hired 18 civilian positions that have replaced sworn officers that were at desk jobs. And that means 18 more officers on the streets. And we've hired 20 civilian positions that are doing direct infield work, our police service technicians that have restored our in-person response to property crimes. So if you include the officers that have been reassigned from desk duties to patrol, that's more than 120 officers available today than we had prior to the Public Safety Vital Services tax. The increase in officers has mostly benefited our patrol, but it's also given us the ability to build up our special units. We've increased the size of our special enforcement unit that focuses on violent crimes. We have a data and analytics team that's helping us police smarter. Our impact team that addresses quality of life crimes. They've grown from 1 team to 4 teams. Traffic unit has grown significantly. And we've built a community engagement unit and a real-time information center. We also can't skip over the fact that we're adding public safety in a variety of different ways to address issues at the appropriate level. We have our code rapid response teams to address encampments. We have 2 private security firms that supplement our policing and patrol in our hotspots. We have park rangers who've reclaimed our parks. We're leveraging behavioral health specialists in our 911 center and co-response teams in the field. We contract with nonprofit agencies to help us with homeless outreach and gun violence intervention. And we have a community vitality team that coordinates our homeless encampment responses better than ever before. Let's actually take a glimpse into some of that work of the community vitality team and how creativity and collaboration are paying off with this video.
The thing that I hear about the most, the phone calls that I get, the text messages, the emails at community meetings, just being stopped in passing, it's about homelessness. And there's a variety of different perspectives and a variety of different opinions about what it is that can be done. And there's certain limitations as it relates to the law and things we can do, that it's not a crime to be homeless. We raise our families here, we shop here, we go to church here. We are members of this community as well. And so it's the fabric of what we are and what we do. The majority of our complaints have come from the downtown, Old Town, Kern area, and that's really something that we've wanted to be very responsive to our community. We want these officers to know these business owners. It's the very essence of what community-oriented policing is.
It is our goal to increase our responsiveness to the business owners who are experiencing the impact of the property crimes that are occurring. We want to work together with the business owners and those that live in the downtown area so that we can work together to increase our investigative capacity in order to solve some of these crimes. I manage our community vitality program, and a component of that program is our impact unit. In that unit, there's 26 officers that are dedicated to quality of life issues, which includes homeless related issues. We have 4 officers that are dedicated to a co-response model where we ride with mental health professionals and we go to calls for service where that component can be useful. We also have 2 assigned officers to the downtown and Old Town Kern area, and they are really getting to know the business owners down there. They're getting to know the people in the area, and they're able to respond quickly to a lot of these crimes as they're happening because they're familiar with the locations, they're familiar with the problems, and it's been a very effective way to handle some of these issues.
We acknowledge that there's an issue. There's probably not a bigger issue that is facing our community, and it's certainly not a bigger one in terms of the volume and the feedback that I get from the community. And so it is a serious issue. It is one that we are diligently working on. It is one that we will continue to work on, but I don't want people to lose hope. I don't want people to lose faith in the police department or in the city. People don't feel like we care, and so they don't call. And you start multiplying that out multiple times a day, days of the week, weeks of the month, months of the years, then what we are not having is an understanding of what is really going on in our community and where we are needed the most. We have a tremendous amount of resources. We are trying to apply them where they are most needed, but I must encourage the public to continue to call because if we don't know, we can't help.
Let's hear it for our Community Vitality team. Also, I'm happy to share we haven't just filled seats. These teams are producing real results. Our response times, they continue to improve year over year. We've also seen improvement in how quickly we answer our 911 calls. And we continue to save patrol time by diverting mental health calls. Again, we're being smart, strategic, and focused, and it's paying off. Last year, we saw reported crime reduce by 27%. You can clap for that. Property crime is down with big decreases in burglary and auto theft. We want to make more progress on that retail theft issue we know is real to you, but we did see an 11.8% reduction thanks to our specialized team on that topic. Violent crime also continues to improve. From 2021 to 2024, we saw a 74% reduction in shootings and homicides. One of the largest improvements of any large city across the nation. Now, I know some of you have been clapping with a little more enthusiasm than others, though. Some of you might be a little skeptical. Is this a statistical game? Is it, something else that's going on? Because we keep seeing break-ins or vagrancy or homelessness. And so you might be wondering, hey, Christian, if you can reduce violent crime by 74%, why not homelessness? I think that's a fair question. I will reassert the numbers are real, crime is down, but it's not enough. We know that. You want to see your quality of life restored, that sense of lawlessness repaired. We have significantly increased our capacity to enforce laws and to provide services to those in need, but we continue to have an accountability challenge. So our growing pain reality number one is that we're not going to solve public safety, homelessness, mental health, and substance use issues in our community without better systems of accountability. Unfortunately, over the past decade, these systems in California have eroded, and we're in a really big hole. We have too few programs to treat those in need and too little accountability to divert people into those programs. Our impact unit, which we just watched on Community Vitality, they make roughly 300 to 400 arrests per month. Unfortunately, more than 80% of those booked into our county jail are released within 24 hours. Fortunately, we have just enough ability now with state changes with Proposition 36 and other legislation that we can make some progress, but we have to build our capacity at the regional level to address mental health, substance use, and jail bed space. Mayor Goh is going to talk later about the many things we're doing to make progress around homelessness, but we have a long way to go. We know our partners at the county are facing some challenges in addressing those jailing needs of this community. And I'm not here to point fingers. It's a challenge our entire community really has to come to terms with. And I hope some of the smart, capable people here today can help us with some of those answers. But until we address that, it doesn't matter how many officers we have or how many arrests we make, we need accountability. In the meantime, we'll keep enforcing and providing services to the greatest extent that we can. until we can fix that accountability issue. Now, on that sobering note, let me shift gears to another topic of interest. We've considered homelessness and quality of life as public safety issues, as we should. Let me suggest that we should also consider road and traffic safety as a public safety issue. The goal of our city council is to make all residents more safe, including our safety as we travel every day from home, work, school. Unfortunately, Bakersfield has a safety issue when it comes to traffic collisions and fatalities. We exceed state and national standards. Traffic fatalities are actually double the number of violent crime homicides over the last 3 years. So we are seeing progress in this area over the past 3 years, but again, we have a long way to go. Overall, people are driving too fast, too dangerous. And traffic and safety does include several things. It includes enforcement, it includes education. Note, we've done a distracted driving campaign with the city, Audi, Volkswagen, and KGET, and we're working on a school-based distracted driving campaign for this fall. But safety also includes the roadway itself, what we call the built environment. And I know there can be some growing pains with lane widths narrowing, new bike lanes, lane reductions, changes to our sidewalks. But I invite all of us to kind of take a step back and look at the big picture. There are best practice standards across the nation in communities of many different shapes and sizes that have improved traffic safety, and they've done it in a way that looks toward future growth. And as we continue to grow as a population and densify in our community, we need to be better prepared for ways to keep people and goods moving safely throughout our community. The traffic measures that you're seeing on our streets today, they're about saving lives and they're about planning ahead. So switching gears to growing pain reality number 2 is that our revenues are not keeping up with increases in our cost of doing business. It's probably familiar to all of you in this post-pandemic inflation that it's hitting us as well as it's hitting your businesses. Multiple years of significant inflation while revenues remain flat. That means we have less resources to provide the same levels of service. And again, we continue to see growth, and growth is positive, but there are also costs to growth, additional services and infrastructure we need to provide to our community. Measure N significantly reset our ability to begin catching up for really 2 decades of limited resources that made it hard for us to keep up with capital needs. But we still have many of the same systemic issues that existed prior to Measure N, in that we have to stretch our dollars farther, and that per capita, our budget remains one of the lowest of any large city in California. And while we stretch our dollars to maintain services, it makes it even harder to improve that quality of life that we know our community is looking for. As our community continues to grow, we're going to need to see growth in our revenue base. Mayor Goh will share some great examples of positive economic growth today, but I'm going to challenge us all here to think increasingly about how do we grow our regional economy. We need to bring more dollars into our region to fuel the growth that's going to come to Bakersfield. And if we can channel that growth the right way, really the sky is the limit, but we do have to think about that. One of the ways the city can help facilitate growth, and one of the things that we're better at than some of the other things is, and what I would call a treatment plan for our growing pains, is quality infrastructure. So our ability to grow really is directly impacted by our capacity to deliver infrastructure. And that's a solid foundation on which individuals, families, businesses like you can grow your unique dreams. One example is when there's development in Southeast Bakersfield, it looked to be bottlenecked because we didn't have connectivity to sewer. The city identified $5.5 million of federal funds that could be used to build a sewer line along MLK Boulevard that opened up development throughout that area. And Mayor will talk more, and we're thankful to our partners at Del Oro. We can't talk about infrastructure without talking about roads. So, what can you expect to see in the coming year on roads? I know everybody wants the road announcements every year. We're loving the Centennial Corridor. We can get across town so much faster. There's 2 pieces that are still missing. I'm excited to share that not only is that 7th movement in construction, but we also received through KernCog and Caltrans the final funding, a $40 million grant to construct the 8th and final movement. We're excited to see that interchange completed. We also have large projects scheduled for 18th and 19th Streets downtown and 8th Street downtown. We're repaving huge sections of Panama, Pacheco, Wilson, Stein, Coffee, and Callaway. And for those listening for your favorite or unfavorite street, here's just a few more rapid fire. We're going to see work on 4th, P, University, California, Stockdale, Hageman, Truxton, Columbus, Woodmere, Ming, Weibel, Mohawk, Lisa Marie Court, just to name a few. Big priority of the council. Roads are really important. We're catching up. In addition to road construction and repaving, we're also seeing an expansion of our trails. The Frank-Kern Canal Trail is under construction, adding another 6 miles of connectivity into Northwest Bakersfield from our incredible Kern River Parkway Trail all the way to 7th Standard. We've funded the design for a beach park bridge that would cross folks over from North Bakersfield onto the Kern River Parkway and into downtown. We're keenly focused on that school traffic safety I mentioned. We have major projects along Monitor Street and a loop in South Bakersfield that creates safe routes for many schools in the Stone Creek area. And we've also completed a project at Roosevelt Elementary and funding for one at Jefferson. And we've set aside $2.8 million from the Southeast Strong Grant for school traffic safety improvements as well. Now, let's talk about sewers. Not the cleanest of topics, but a pretty important one. And that's because this spring, the city plopped a whopper of a rate increase in front of you, our community. And I've stated publicly that the city, myself included, could have done a better job of explaining that issue and engaging our businesses and residents. We didn't engage you early enough, and we didn't provide you enough information, and I apologize. I don't want to raise rates any more than the next person, but here's our reality. We simply cannot provide quality sewer services without raising our rates. So let's cover 2 things in the time that we have. We have 2 treatment plants that serve the city. One's a little more than 20 years old, roughly. That one's okay. The other plant is very old, first built in 1958. It had significant upgrades in 1978. Treatment plants have a typical lifespan of about 30 years before they need significant upgrades. And aside from maintenance repairs, that same plant built in 1978 is what we're using today. Outdated technologies, it needs an upgrade. We can get creative and innovative and be smart, but no matter what we do, we need major renovations, and they're going to cost a pretty penny. We're going to do everything we can to keep those costs down, but rates simply can't stay the same. Let's also put those rates into perspective. In 2006, the city charged $135 a year, an entire year, $135, for sewer service, is the lowest of any comparable city. We didn't have any increases for 10 years. 2016, we raised it up to $215, but still most comparable cities are more than double that amount. Minor adjustments to sewer rates have brought that rate up to $239 today. But that also means, again, another decade without any significant rate increases. If we simply would have increased the rates by the Consumer Price Index, they would have been about $339 as of today. Rates for comparable cities, as you'll see on this graph, and it's a little small to read, what you can take away is Bakersfield's on the far left there, that really itty-bitty bar graph, and our comparable cities range anywhere from $379 up to $600, $700, let alone LA or at $1,375, San Francisco and Long Beach at more than $2,000. I don't aspire to be amongst those highest sewer rate providers. But it does demonstrate how artificially low our rates have been for a really long time, and we've been benefiting from those low rates as consumers for a very long time. That bill is now coming due. One way to look at sewer rates is that what is a reasonable cost for your sinks and toilets and your showers to work? Is it worth $50 a month? Is it worth $80 a month? Right now you're paying $20 a month. It's probably less than you're paying in subscriptions. We do expect to come back to the community with a revised rate increase plan sometime in the next fiscal year. We still need to do this even though we put it on pause. It will include in-depth analysis from third party, and my job is to find a way to do it as cost-effective as possible. I make a commitment that as we bring it back, we'll have thorough information, hold workshops, lay out the facts, provide options that balance out the different ways to best address our challenge, and any solution will take into consideration our ability for consumers to afford and phase into the rates that we need to support our system. All right, I can't end on sewer, so let's talk for a few minutes about parks. This year we opened the city's 65th park. The Linnell Brahma Park in Ward 1, almost entirely grant funded, is a gem in Southeast Bakersfield. Yes, it is. has an all-access layout, amazing new mural, incredible community ownership, one of the best ribbon cuttings of all time. This coming year is also going to see the construction completed for a doubling of capacity at Mesa Marin, 4 new softball fields and walking trails that connect it to the rest of the park. We're excited that our partners at NOR have the Stockdale River Ranch Park under construction in West Bakersfield. Our MLK Park revitalization efforts have been bolstered by $11 million federal grant to build the first phase of that park reimagining. We have some more modest projects at Centennial and Wilson Park, and we have funds this year to start on the first phase of construction at our Ward 7 neighborhood park next to Miller Elementary. We still love our parks. Thank you. Now let me conclude with sort of one last growing pain reality and a final dose of healthy optimism. So where are we headed? Growing pain reality number 3 is that people will keep coming to and keep staying in Bakersfield. We can't stop growth, but don't be upset, be flattered. People want to be in Bakersfield. What can we do about it? We can guide growth, and we can grow smarter, we can grow intentionally. The vision of the City Council is to create a consistent community fabric across the entire metropolitan region. That looks like annexations of unincorporated pockets. It looks like best practice land use changes to our densities and to our development patterns. It looks like public infrastructure that we invest into public amenities and public gathering places. I love the small town feel of Bakersfield. I'm committed to preserving that small town feel, but we still also have to create big city solutions to our quality of life. We're making progress on so many fronts. We're on the right trajectory. We're improving our key metrics across the board. We're improving on our progress on rankings and indices that have plagued our region for a long time, and we're starting to show up on the right indices. So the future of Bakersfield is bright. I absolutely see a future where a young person, regardless of where they live in Bakersfield, has access to quality education, healthy choices, good jobs. They travel down quality, safe roads to visit parks and fun public amenities. They live in safe neighborhoods with a strong sense of community who want them to succeed. And as we continue to grow stronger together, I know that future will become a reality. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Christian, staff, and City Council colleagues for your efforts to create the sound of something better. Greater Bakersfield Chamber and members, thank you for building a better Bakersfield. Today, I had the privilege of highlighting the sound of growing stronger together. In our shared vision, in our unity, our working collaboratively, that is where our city indeed is able to grow stronger together. In the past, we've engaged in real talk about our city. Today, we continue the conversation about California's challenge of our time, homelessness. Homelessness continues to be one of California's paramount issues. Here's the reality. Our state has 12% of the nation's total population, but nearly 50% of the nation's unsheltered homeless. As we've noted in the past, there's a systemic issue in our state that is leading to more people entering homelessness than cities have the capacity to address. We're facing a mental health, substance use, and housing crisis of epic proportions. But because we're working together, we are growing stronger in our response to this very complex challenge. In the Bakersfield metro area, which includes Oildale, there was a 10.5% decrease in unsheltered homelessness reported in this year's point-in-time count. That is, more homeless persons are inside shelters and inside housing than on our streets. While we know there is still much work to be done, we're getting more people off the streets and connected to services. What's contributed to this improvement? We've added beds, we've targeted our engagement with the homeless community, and we're continuing to grow our partnerships. Adding more beds means more people off the streets. Over the past few years, we've more than tripled our emergency shelter beds in Bakersfield. This past year, we added 50 beds to the city's Brundage Lane Navigation Center. 300 people will be sleeping in that shelter tonight. 500 people have already moved from that shelter into housing. So the city's shelter alone has taken 800 people off the streets. That's more than double the number of people in this room today. Even more beds are coming. With the groundbreaking of the Open Door Network's new expanded campus, 300 beds will be available for homeless women and children. This year, we anticipate 299 units of affordable housing funded by the city to come online. This will more than triple the number of new affordable housing units that opened last year. Recently, we celebrated the opening of Renaissance at Baker in Old Town Kern with 85 units. We also celebrated Bakersfield's first modular apartments for persons transitioning from homelessness with City Serves Elevate Apartments in Westchester. That added 126 units with comprehensive supportive services, including faith-based services. I can hardly wait for more to come. Thank you, Pastor, for your leadership on that. In addition to adding beds, we also targeted our engagement with the homeless community. Through team coordination and intensive case management, we've made progress in getting homeless persons off the streets. Last year, we announced the public launch of a centralization of requests for services. Now our City Vitality Unit triages the more than 1,200 calls for service each month. More than 5,600 encampments were cleared this year. That's nearly double the encampments cleared last year. Substance use continues to be a major driver of homelessness. On average, 110 individuals a month are diagnosed with a severe substance use disorder in Kern County. These individuals need a residential level of substance use treatment, but we only have 109 residential beds available in our entire county, and those remain full. There's good news ahead, though. We'll soon add 65 new beds. Bakersfield was one of just 4 cities selected to receive funding for behavioral health infrastructure by the state. Bakersfield received $22.8 million. The city will match this with opioid settlement fundings to stand up a new residential substance use treatment facility. We really need that. In addition to our adding beds, improving targeted engagement, we're also growing our partnerships. We're partnering with our nonprofits in creative ways to move the hardest to serve off the streets, particularly during business hours. In partnering with St. Vincent de Paul, the mission at Kern County, they're going to provide respite and a space for individuals to spend during the day. Over the past few years, my fellow big city mayors have been pushing for reform on the state's behavioral health and substance use system. Our aim is to get at the root cause of homelessness and prevent it before it begins. I previously shared on our victories on Care Court, SB 43, and Proposition 1. The focus of big city mayors this year has been on implementation. We've supported a number of bills aimed at addressing the root causes of homelessness and removing the red tape to creating new housing. In addition to the City of Bakersfield signing joint letters of support with big city mayors on legislation, we've sent letters affirming our city's support on 20 state bills related to public safety, behavioral health, streamlining regulations, and other issues important to you and our community. The City of Bakersfield joined Cal Cities in prioritizing a concerted effort to address the issue of organized retail theft. With the passage of Proposition 36, thank you to you, we now have tougher penalties for serial retail thieves, mandated drug and mental health treatment, and more tools to hold drug dealers accountable. Yeah. Thanks to our district attorney's office, Kern County has been leading the state in implementation. In the first 6 months of Proposition 36's implementation, our district attorney's office has filed 822 felony cases that would previously have been cite and release misdemeanors. Now felonies, they would have been misdemeanors. In June, yeah, that's a really good thing. In June, I joined a delegation of mayors from the mayors and CEOs for U.S. housing investment on a visit to D.C. The organization is the first and largest bipartisan coalition of cities united with business leaders, leaders just like you, focused on housing and homelessness. We had productive meetings with key legislative decision makers in DC focused on streamlining housing policy, regulatory reform, and supporting investment in housing. We were united in removing red tape, bipartisan business leaders and cities removing red tape, creating flexibility for local solutions to our housing affordability crisis. Additionally, this past year, staff and I had the privilege on numerous occasions of meeting with federal, House, and state representatives in Washington, D.C. to discuss issues very important to all of you, including infrastructure needs. Staff and I also traveled to Sacramento to advocate for regulatory reform to address homelessness, public safety, housing, youth jobs, protection of our core industries, ag and oil. Yes, we've got to protect our industries. We called on our governors, cabinet secretaries, state legislators to allocate the needed resources and remove barriers through policy reform. We're pleased to see movement in Sacramento on removing the red tape for housing development. Recently, the governor signed a bill that would provide new CEQA exemptions to fast-track housing development. That's a big deal. And the governor stood up for that. In spite of the state's many regulatory obstacles, Bakersfield continues to be a leader in housing development in California. Of California's 10 biggest cities, Bakersfield has seen the largest growth. Bolthouse Properties will bring the largest multifamily development in Kern County's history with a total of 520 gated apartments. Park Center at Seven Oaks will begin pre-leasing next year. Castle and Cook will open the new community of Highbury at Seven Oaks in 2026. The gated community at the corner of Allen and Chamber will feature 185 single-family homes. Westbridge Seven Oaks by Bolthouse Property will bring 1,500 new home sites with multiple parks south of White Lane, west of South Allen. Construction will begin this year. Sage Equities is bringing 83 more apartment units to East Chester. Both Clio at 18th and O and East Chester Flats on Mill Creek at 17th and S will break ground this year with anticipated completion in 2027. With the city's investment in sewer along South Martin Luther King Boulevard, Pacificus 4 companies, Sunrise Global, and the Mora Partners are collectively developing 460 acres in southeast Bakersfield. Over the next 5 years, the new communities of Del Oro will bring 6,000 units of single and multifamily housing, low-rise and higher density apartments. Would you like, yeah, that's a lot of stuff. Here's a question for you. Would you like your permit for a residential energy project to be submitted, reviewed, and approved in 10 to 15 minutes? The city's partnership with Symbiom will soon expedite your permitting with a new tool. That's a big deal. 10 to 15 minutes. Promise that, Christian? We're welcoming cultural and recreational amenities to our growing city. Thanks to the Arts Council of Kern for championing the beautification of Bakersfield. Through the efforts of the Arts Council in collaboration with Caltrans and local artists, we've seen the creation of vibrant new murals at California and 99, Garces Circle, Q and 204, and Saunders Park. Bakersfield continues to be a top choice for major events and tourism. Visit Bakersfield helped generate a record high of nearly $13 million in hotel tax. This milestone was driven by more than 62,000 nights booked for events within the city. Many of these events were previously held in other cities. We're growing stronger as together we're finding ways to acquire and develop talent and skills to fill both current and future jobs. In a comparison of the 100 largest cities in the U.S., Bakersfield was named the best U.S. city for entry-level jobs that pay a living wage. We're growing entrepreneurs, and our entrepreneurs are growing jobs. The city's initial entrepreneurship grant program helped launch 477 startup micro businesses, create 290 jobs, and directly re-inject cash into Bakersfield's small business economy. In our second round of entrepreneurship grants, the city partnered again with Bakersfield College's Launchpad and awarded 115 grants totaling more than $500,000. Bakersfield small businesses each received $20,000 along with customized technical assistance. To expand access to health care, CSUB will launch a new Doctor of Nursing practice this fall. Thank you. Thank you to Kern Health System for its $1 million grant towards the establishment of the program in one of the most medically underserved regions of our state. Congratulations to CSUB on being officially classified as a research university by the Carnegie Foundation. CSUB, we look forward to your energy innovation building, which will serve as the nexus for energy research, STEM education, and community and industry collaboration. Fall will see the construction of that beautiful facility. We're growing stronger as together we continue to address our healthcare disparities and increase our diverse clinicians in our healthcare workforce. Thank you, Dignity Health, for your partnership with Morehouse School of Medicine to establish an internal medicine residency program right here in Bakersfield. Thank you, Canon team. Thank you also to Adventist Health, Dignity Health, Kern Medical, and Kern Community College District for your collaborative efforts with other premier institutions to address our need for physician assistants, nurse practitioners, and medical doctors. Stay tuned. The Big City Mayors Coalition continues to advocate for ongoing state support of youth jobs. The Bakersfield Youth Jobs Program has hired almost 300 youth who have completed more than 99,000 public service hours. 69 of our youth are now employed full-time, while 118 are pursuing further education or serving in the armed forces. Our apprenticeship program continues to provide trades training as youth gain their hands-on experience. Thank you to Program Administrator Kern Community Foundation for inspiring a new generation of community and public servants. We continue to be encouraged by the heavy interests of developers and businesses. Northeast Bakersfield will be welcoming many sought-after realtors, Retailers, you'll be welcoming many retailers and restaurants at a shopping and lifestyle center. Plans for city lights are well underway at the former East Hills Mall. Construction will begin this fall. You're going to find retail, food destinations, gathering spaces, and an upscale grocery store. Are you ready for great retail options? Northeast Bakersfield, you are getting a Sprouts. And you are getting a Hobby Lobby. Yeah, right there, and there's a lot more to come, but they won't let me say it. Southwest residents, you're not getting left behind. Castle and Cook's Crossroads Plaza is bringing you a new shopping destination at the corner of Panama Lane and Gosford. A huge Target, will anchor Crossroads Plaza, which will feature many new exciting shopping, dining, and lifestyle opportunities. Imagine one of the most challenged areas of downtown being transformed. It's not a figment of your imagination. Eastchester is happening. Hoagie's, the much anticipated Pisno Beach favorite, is finally here. Located at 19th and O, Hoagie's is bringing good eats, cold drinks, and good vibes to the Central Valley. 1 block east at 19th and Q is the newly opened Centro Cali Brewing. The newly opened brewery and restaurant specializes in craft beer, handcrafted cocktails, and locally sourced ingredients, maybe from Bolthouse and Grimway. Right next door to Centro Cali Brewing is a transformed outdoor venue. Villa Ivy accommodates up to 350 guests under a beautiful ivy wall and a canopy of old-world olive trees. 1 block north of Centro Cali Brewing at 18th and Q will be the much anticipated Moo Creamery. The Scratch Kitchen will have, more seating, a bakery, a full bar, and an open kitchen. Get ready for the opening around September. At 19th and K, we'll soon savor the popular mid-20th century American flavors of the Woolworths counter. Thank you to MoneyWise for investing in this revitalization of Eastchester. Another first is coming to Bakersfield. Eastchester will soon welcome Bakersfield's first container park. Located on 19th between O and Q, the stack will feature an outdoor live venue, eateries, a beer garden, arcade, pickleball courts, 2 playgrounds for kids, a dog area, and many more fun family activities. Next door to the stack, Saunders will be moving into the old brass rail building. The bar and restaurant will host comedy events with acts like Gabriel Iglesias, Fluffy, Joe Coy, and other live shows. A complete revitalization of the facades at 19th and O will begin in early 2026. This will include the new home for Bakersfield Community Theater, Hoagie's Killer Poke, Bottle Shop Wine and Brew. This facade project also will encompass the future home of downtown's newest co-work, HQ, in the former Thompson Petland building. HQ's 35 offices will provide small businesses affordable offices to call their home. Many thanks to Tomas Del Toro Diaz of Sound Capital and his partners for championing many of these exciting projects. Bob Smith, Austin Smith, thank you for helping us to revitalize Eastchester. The half-block corner of 19th and L also is undergoing a major revitalization. A contemporary facade and extensive interior remodeling will renew the aging area. Property owner J.P. Lake describes the food, dining, and active lifestyles as one of a kind in Bakersfield. I begged and begged for him to reveal, but he wouldn't. One of a kind in Bakersfield. Now, join me on a trip through Eastchester. are growing stronger together, aren't we? It's all together. This revitalization didn't happen by chance. We're growing our public-private partnerships together. The city was pleased to provide 77 economic opportunity grants in downtown. Since the start of our EOA program in 2018, we've invested in more than 97 businesses. That's how we're getting it done together. Today, we celebrated growing stronger together. Results when the hardworking people of Bakersfield collaborate to achieve the sound of something better. There's more work to be done. Let us persevere with intentionality, optimism, and unity. We declare again that Bakersfield will be sought out as a center of creative solutions and innovations. Let's pursue a deeper depth of commitment to come together as one with our diverse strengths, talents, and experiences to grow stronger together and write the narrative of our future. Bakersfield's best days are still ahead. I believe that greater things are still to come in our city. Don't you?
Well, on that note, we want to thank you all for being here today. Remember, this is a chamber exclusive event, and it is the Greater Bakersfield Chamber's privilege to be able to give you a glimpse of what's happening in our city. But remember, your voice matters, your action matters, and we just want to give you all a round of applause for being here today and helping make Bakersfield an amazing place to live and work. So again, thank you to our presenting sponsor, Adventist Health. Thank you for attending, our chamber members and guests. If you'd like to learn more about chamber membership, come find me. And we want you to know something. This just in, the report from the Capitol is back. Mark your calendars for September 24th. We will hear from Congressman Vince Fong. And for now, again, on behalf of our Greater Bakersfield Chamber, our team, our board, our chamber members, thank you for being here. Have a blessed day.